I'm going to tie my favorite variation of a Walt's worm because there aren't enough Walt's worm fly tying tutorials on YouTube already. So I thought I probably ought to make one. I've got a Dohiku 303 in the vise in a size 14 with a 2.8mm slotted tungsten bead in the color metallic light pink. I'm attaching my thread now, which is some Viva 16-aught thread in the color tan. I'm going to rib my Walt's worm with some nano silk. Any gel spun thread will work. I like white for this pattern. GSP is super strong, but it's also very slick. So when I'm attaching, or when I'm tying this in, I like to pinch it up against the hook shank on the side that's closest to me, and I'll kind of push it up into the bead here. And I'll just do 2 pinch wraps. So I bring my thread up, pinch, and then bring it back down, pinch, bring it back down. So that gives me some tension, but not so much that I can't still slip the thread through. So I am going to continue pulling on the nano silk until I have a really small tag. I got to be careful here to not pull it all the way out. That's short enough that I can cover that up with dubbing. So I'm going to start wrapping my thread back to the bend of the hook. I found that nano silk tends to be stronger for me than wire or any tinsels, so it's quickly become my favorite ribbing material for nymphs with a dubbed body. Alright, so next I'm going to apply some dubbing to my thread, and this dubbing is what makes this fly, or this version, special in my opinion. I'm using the Fulling Mill Ultra Nymph dubbing in the color Psychedelic Tan, and I'm going to show you how what is so cool about this dubbing at the end. But I'm just going to apply a generous amount. I am going to start wrapping that dubbing forward until I get behind the bead, and then I'm going to break my thread. Alright, so I'm just going to take my broken thread, and I'm going to keep some tension on that while I reattach my thread. Definitely intended to do that. Make a few wraps behind, that should be good to go there. That actually wasn't too bad. Alright, trim those tags. Now we're back in business. I'm going to take my nano silk, and I'm going to wrap it the opposite direction of my dubbing. So I was wrapping away from myself, so I'm going to start wrapping this towards myself. I'm going to do 4 or 5 turns here. And then the nano silk, like I said, is quite slick. I used to have problems with this material, and that after one fish, my ribbing would get pulled out. So to prevent that from happening, I'm going to make 3 to 5 turns behind the bead. And then after I've done that, I'm going to twist my bobbins together so that the threads wrap around each other. Then I'm going to take my tan thread, and I'm going to make 3 wraps behind and 1 in front. That should keep that nano silk locked in place. And now you've got a fly with a really strong rib. Now all that's left to do is some super glue. Got some Loctite with a brush here. I really like super glue for finishing off my flies. It's very strong. And then I'm just going to do a 5-turn whip finish because this is pretty thin thread. And then I'm just going to trim my thread loose. The cool thing about this dubbing is that it's got some fluorescent fibers in it. So in the direct UV light, it looks like a lightsaber, but even with just a little bit, you can kind of see those fibers start to glow. So this is my favorite variation of the Walt's worm. It fishes really well for me, especially on rivers with high densities of sow bugs. I find it to be very effective. So I will leave links to all the materials I used in this video in the description, and go ahead and whip some up and let me know how it fishes for you.